and welcome to Croft for the next round of the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championships. Now, James Blake Baldwin has currently got his hands firmly on that trophy and is going to hope to consolidate his position at the top of the table. We'll see what happens then as we head over to Richard for the grid.
Thanks, Bryn. It's Brian Chandler that starts on pole today. Great qualifying lap from him. James Blake Baldwin alongside. Row 2, Alan Henderson with John Clements, and then Simon Baldwin and Sam Smith on the third row. Fourth row, Charlie Charman. Next to him is car 37, James Harris, then Paul Bishop and Roger Chesno. Row 6, Simon Goddard and Will Picken. They're followed by Darren Lewis in 285, Martin Tolley in car 23. Row 8, Chris Hart and Jake Simpson lines up alongside. Then it's Clive Powles and Graham Colby. Row 10, Andrew Caird with Paul Tucker. Simon Woods and Kevin Brent on row 11. Then Carl Andrew and Stephen Craggs, row 12. 13th row, Adam Craig and Harry Dean. They're followed by Matthew Tasker and Roy Stevenson. Paul Yeomans is next with Guy Carter alongside. 31st on the grid is Danny Green and Michael Fisk completing the 32 car field, which gets away here at Croft for round 13 of the Mazda MX-5 Championship, organised by the BRSCC. And it's a great start from the outside of the front row by James Blake Baldwin. He's trying to get the run down into Clervaux, and he's already done it. That was a fantastic start, great acceleration. James Harris on the outside line. We've got a car off in the gravel, and now Brian Chandler, after doing the hard work in qualifying, 900ths of a second, separating himself and the championship leader on the timing screens at the end of qualifying. But James Blake Baldwin's made a terrific start. Three wide as they go down the back straight into Tower for the first time. Blake Baldwin from Chandler. Alan Henderson is next. There in 42 is Charlie Charman. 48 is Simon Baldwin looking at the outside line. Out of Tower for the first time. Coming down into Barcroft and the Jim Clark S's. Next they'll head down to Sunny. Coming into Sunny in now, and it's Blake Baldwin still leading. There's Roger Chesno in 105, hotly pursued by Simon Goddard in 46. Simon, of course, we've seen take 2 Group B wins so far this year. Now, such is the grid this weekend. We've still got an amazing entry, 32 cars, but this long circuit here, over 2 miles at Croft, can cope with the full entry, so we've no need this weekend to split the grid down into groups A and B, and that's going to be an advantage for anybody from the front group who might suffer a problem in race number 1. They won't have to battle their way back through group B in race 2. They'll be on the back of the full grid, so they'll potentially be able to get more points. So James Blake Baldwin goes through in lead position. Brian Chandler still second. Alan Henderson in third, a little bit of a gap back. Charlie Charman is next, qualified 7th, so really good progress on the opening lap from Charman, coming up the Fleet Hampshire based driver, coming up several places on lap number 1, who want to make more progress as the race continues. There's Sam Smith in 31, currently in 6th place, and that's a problem for James Harris. Well, James Harris, who's a top 10 runner in the championship, was 7th after Alton Park and lost his place, you might remember, in the last race to Sam Smith in terms of the championship standings, and he's got a non-finish, but he will, as I said, benefit from the fact that if he can get the car repaired, he'll come back. He won't be in the Group B race because everybody's in one race. We've still got 3 straight races for the championship. This is round 13, gap developing back from the race leaders. Really piling the pressure on now is Simon Baldwin. So lap 8 of the race, and we're looking down towards the back end of the top 20. Simon Woods in car 101, the orange car, who is chasing Stephen Craggs, looks on the inside line. Good stuff there from Simon Woods, doesn't force Craggs off onto the dirt, gets a very good run. Does Woods out of the hairpin and goes through, makes up a position. He's got Stephen Craggs there with him, Andrew Caird as well. It's Craggs the front runner, Caird down and on the inside line at Clervaux, goes through. Wonderful stuff, 2 great corners from Simon Woods, who's going a little bit wide as he just carried too much momentum into the corner. He made up 2 places on 1 lap and now loses them. 1:47. Stephen Craggs straight lines the chicane. Well, whether the officials will see that as an advantage or not remains to be seen. Clive Powell's in car number 18, started in 17th place on the grid, and the 54-year-old from Alveston in Warwickshire enjoying his racing, but still James Blake Baldwin out front. Alan Henderson's got the fastest lap, back on lap 3 though, 1:41.485. As we continue to watch this trio dicing over 19th place at the moment. Andrew Caird in 20th. Stephen Craggs ahead of him, and Simon Woods in car 101, the man from Sutton in Surrey, when he started racing in the championship in 2012. Here we go, in car, looking back at Paul Tucker in car number 68, the man from Staffordshire, ex-kart racer. Was helping his son out for a while, gets a wheel on the dirt. You saw there just how getting one wheel on the dirt loses momentum, and he was up challenging for the place and just drops back. So on to the last lap here, and James Blake Baldwin looking like he's going to take another win. We're in car with Alan Henderson in second position, having passed Brian Chandler, who's in third. Henderson with the fastest lap of the race, and not too far back on James Blake Baldwin at the moment, but Baldwin looking to get into double figures with his race wins in this one. This is the outfield view of the lead trio, who have got a big gap over JJ Clements, who's running in fourth place now, ahead of Sam Smith. So out of Sunny and heading down in towards the complex for the last time. Now the complex is very definitely somewhere where it could all happen on this last lap, and Henderson's piling the pressure on. Too far back to look up the inside, takes a wide sweep as they come into the hairpin section, and Blake Baldwin's going to be looking in his mirrors. They've got Danny Green, the back marker, in red ahead of them. Semi-defensive from Blake Baldwin, he's got an eye on the mirror. Alan Henderson didn't have the momentum to go up the inside, and now it's a run to the checkered flag, and James Blake Baldwin will take his 10th win of the season. Alan Henderson makes it a 9th podium and a 6th fastest lap, and Brian Chandler a 5th podium of the year from 8 race starts. Cracking start to the meeting here at Croft, and as you can see, James Blake Baldwin, the championship leader, very pleased with his win. Blake Baldwin from Henderson, Brian Chandler in third, JJ Clements fourth from Sam Smith, then Simon Baldwin, Charlie Charman in 7th, Martin Tolley in 8th place ahead of Simon Goddard, and the top 10 completed by car 44, Paul Bishop.
Well, I'm here with Brian. You came third, but you started first, so talk us through your race.
Yeah, weren't too bad. Started on pole. Going on quali, the lap times, there was nothing in it, so kind of knew it was going to be close, James and Alan. Me and James got away. James got off the line a little bit better. Didn't want to hang him on the outside because I thought that wouldn't be very fair of me. So just kind of braked into turn 1 and let him get in front. And then we went off. To be fair, I kind of thought we was clear. The first few laps, kind of, we gapped Alan quite nicely. I even flicked my mirror up thinking, well, I haven't got to worry about him. And typical AK automotive car, the car just came on stronger and stronger and stronger. Alan didn't make any mistakes. I made a mistake into tower when he come past. And then I spent pretty much the rest of the last part of the race with kind of going off tyres, but trying to get onto the back of them again, which kind of I did and didn't. So it was, it could have been better from me.
Well, Alan, it was an eventful race for you, wasn't it? You started third, straight up to second, well, early on, and then it was chase.
Yeah, it was not processional, but there wasn't a lot of overtaking in the front 3 anyway. We kind of made a break where the pace was awesome yesterday. I don't know why, because there was still a couple of little damp patches on the circuit. If you weren't careful, it would catch you out a little bit. But it was kind of, once I got into second, it was hard to really fight for the lead because Brian was there, and if you made a move and it didn't work, you'd drop back to third instead of just retaining second. So it was, I don't know, it was tricky. So hopefully tomorrow I'll get a better start and try and get into the lead, I think, early on.
Well, we were talking to Brian, he was saying he kind of ignored the fact you were there and he turned his mirror up and he just carried on. All of a sudden you were on him straight away.
Yeah, at the very start I was conscious of JJ behind on the first lap, and I tried to back him up a little bit so he wasn't going to get the run on us down to Tower, and that James and Brian got a little bit of a gap on us, and it kind of stayed even for a while, and then just a couple of laps in, the car just seemed to really come alive. And like he says, within half a lap or something, I was right on the back of him then, and I had to start pressuring him.
Well, James, that was a kind of uneventful race for you. Started second, got first straight away, and that was it.
Yeah, got a really good start. Managed to just get Brian on the inside of turn one, and I managed to pull a bit of a gap, not much on Brian. But then sort of 4 or 5 laps in, saw that Alan Henderson was catching, and he's an absolute monster around here, and he kept me honest all the way to the end, nose to tail.
Well, you mentioned Mr. Henderson there. This championship's getting mighty tight with him, isn't it?
Yeah, Alan's really, really quick, and every time he gets fastest lap and a second, the gap doesn't increase. So I get 100 points for first, he gets 100 points for second, and we stay where we are.
Yeah, exactly. And turn your attention to tomorrow then. You've got 2 races ahead of you, and hopefully you can extend that gap.
I hope so. Tomorrow could be interesting. It's going to be really, really close, and again, anyone's race.
We shall see. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Croft. Here's the grid for race 2. And it's James Blake Baldwin and Alan Henderson on the front row, followed by Brian Chandler and JJ Clements. Sam Smith 5th and Simon Baldwin in 6th place. Charlie Charman starts 7th again with Martin Tolley. On row 5, Simon Goddard and Paul Bishop. Then it's Darren Lewis and Roger Chesno, followed by Chris Hart and Will Pickham 14th. 15th on the grid is Clive Powles, followed by Graham Colby. Then it's Paul Tucker and Jake Simpson, row 9. Row 10, Andrew Caird and Stephen Craggs. They're followed by Simon Woods, Harry Dean alongside. Then it's Adam Craig and Kevin Brent, 24th. 25th, Matthew Tasker with Carl Andrew alongside. Then Paul Yeomans and Danny Green. 29th, James Harris. Michael Fisk is next. Then William Stevenson and Bruce Carter completing the grid. Lights on and out they go very quickly indeed, and we'll see whether James Blake Baldwin can make it a double here at Croft. He's got the inside line. Now, was it that the outside line was faster for race 1? Simon Baldwin, I think, has slotted up into 3rd place. Very crowded, different angle for this race. Going wide there, Martin Tolley, but keeps it on track. Can hear some gravel being kicked up, but side by side for the lead between Alan Henderson and James Blake Baldwin. Back down to the 7th place battle. 42, Charlie Charman is there. Simon Goddard looking up the inside as well. But it looks like James Blake Baldwin, it is James Blake Baldwin leading. Simon Baldwin looking round the outside's got 2nd place. So Alan Henderson down to 3rd. Martin Tolley braving it out on the outside line around town. Not too many championships where you can do that and stay on, but these racers do. Round 14 of the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship here at Croft, and a large number of drivers have made the journey. And James Blake Baldwin now, incredibly, looking for win number 11 of the season. But look at the scrap we've got on for 2nd place. Simon's on the inside line. Alan Henderson challenging. We've got Brian Chandler coming up as well in the purple car. In car now with 46. Simon Goddard. Just look how busy this is. Almost as busy as a kart track. Goes up the inside of Sam Smith. That converts to the outside on the first part of the complex. There's Goddard, braves it out on the outside. Now he's got the inside line down onto the hairpin and inside of the pink car. Brian Chandler's down behind him now as well. Up ahead is Charlie Charman in 42. Some good early race pace again from Charlie. We saw him make up several places on the opening of race number 1. Well, James Blake Baldwin is away down the road. It's Simon Baldwin in 2nd place, but he's got his mirrors full of white. And it's Alan Henderson that's chasing him out of Hawthorns and coming on towards the back straight. JJ Clements at the moment running in 4th position. JJ starting in 4th place after race number 1, so maintaining station. Alan Henderson having a look at the outside line. Again, you've got to be brave to go around the outside at Tower. and he hasn't quite got enough speed to hang on to the outside line, but he'll carry on with the wide lines to carry the speed through the corner. So down into the Jim Clark S's and heading back towards Sunny. And James Blake Baldwin, he's going to be very pleased about this, because if there's a battle for second, they'll slow each other up. He'll start to pull away. Alan Henderson showing some great pace though at the moment, once again in third position, glued to the boot lid of Simon Baldwin's car. And now looks at what's going to be the outside line coming into the first part of the complex. Nothing doing there. Certainly the inside line was very well defended by Baldwin. The twists and turns continue. Coming up into the last corner on the track, this very tight hairpin, the slowest point on the circuit. We go in car with Kevin Friends in car 41. Kevin 24th on the grid for this one, and starting to work his way through the order. The Worcestershire-based driver, 48 years of age. And up in front of him, James Harris in 37, who's made great progress through. Past the 22 car of Chris Hart, the 65-year-old from Stroud. You can see we've got a really good age range of drivers. I can't think of a championship as well subscribed with such a great range of ages. We've got the youngsters starting out in production sports racing. We've got some of the older drivers as well enjoying themselves. Hart's not enjoying himself too much there. Very wide indeed. And Kevin Brent might get more momentum and look up the inside. Lap 11 here at Croft. James Blake Baldwin is still away and down the road. JJ Clements in 88 is still running in fourth place. So the fourth place car is still there. We've got Charlie Charman behind him. And Charman coming under all sorts of pressure at the moment in sixth place. Sam Smith in 31, the man doing the aggressing at the moment. Simon Goddard is right behind him, and we've got in-car footage again from Simon. He's trying to put the pressure on Sam Smith, but all to no avail at the moment. Glorious sunshine here, a little bit of cloud cover from time to time, but ideal conditions for the spectators here. It's a mammoth long circuit, over 2 miles. Plenty of places for the crowd here to spread out and enjoy themselves. And a problem there for car 34. Matthew Tasker is going to become the second retirement of the race. We lost Stephen Craggs on lap 3. Let's hope Tasker can get to safety. But meanwhile, here is the race leader, James Blake Baldwin. Alan Henderson's got the fastest lap of the race. James Blake Baldwin well clear. Look at the distance between them, so he can't see the chasing cars. He's going to have pretty much 5 or 6 seconds lead by this stage. He goes down towards Tower, greeted by waved yellows. The marshals, as ever, doing a sterling job, pushing Matt Tasker's car away. The South Norrington-based driver out of the race. He'll start at the back for race 3. So James Blake Baldwin now has got in double figures in race number 1. This will be his 11th win of the season. Behind him it's Simon Baldwin with Alan Henderson still the fastest man on track. Henderson's going to pick up his 7th fastest lap of the year. But James Blake Baldwin on his last lap and clear, and this is going to extend the championship lead. You heard them talking about the points after race number 1, and they scored the same amount of points in race number 1. 100 for a race win, 99 for second, but an extra point for fastest lap equals things up. And Blake Baldwin here will put a valuable point on Alan Henderson. Henderson, remember, second in the championship ahead of JJ Clements. But out of the corner, a little bit of showboating, and why not, from James Blake Baldwin, who will come down and take the checkered flag. 2 out of 2 here at Croft for him. There's the checker. Blake Baldwin takes the win. Simon Baldwin is 5 seconds or so down the road and crosses the line ahead of Alan Henderson. Brian Chandler in purple, the 76 car, comes home in 4th place. Another great race from the Mazda MX-5 Championship, organised by the British Racing and Sports Car Club. And the crowd here at Croft giving the due acknowledgement of some great racing, great driving from all of these boys for our second of 3 races. And James Blake Baldwin, race-wise, continues to be unbeaten here this weekend at Croft. So here's confirmation of the top 10. James Blake Baldwin the winner, Simon Baldwin in second place from Alan Henderson, who once again grabs the fastest lap. Fourth place goes to Brian Chandler, then it was JJ Clements. Charlie Charman moves up one place, he got sixth place finishing that one ahead of Sam Smith. Simon Goddard in eighth from Martin Tolley, and the top 10 completed by 105 Roger Chesno.
Well, I'm here with the top three then for the race. Alan, you must be the most frustrated man out there.
Yeah, I mean, all the time I could see James just pulling away, and to be fair to Simon, he drove really well. Awesome on the brakes, so it was to get an opportunity to actually make a move and make it stick. I knew it was going to be really hard work right from the get-go.
Well, you got the fastest lap, and you're also so close to Simon there, particularly going to the complex, into the hairpin as well.
Yeah, that was where I was probably the strongest at the end of the lap there. But like you say, it's all about track position and just blocking off just a little bit, and there's no way through really.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race to watch. Although frustration, it must be all right for the next race. You must be looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it was a good race. Just it's frustrating to see James just getting them wins every time. You know, it's what it is.
Well, the man that caused all that frustration is here. Simon, you were you were flying out there. You were a man on fire. Was it sixth to second very early on?
Yeah, I think I just got. Sometimes it happens. The wheels don't spin and the car just goes. And I got one of those today. So really, fortunately, got to make the most of it while it's there. So yeah, really good.
And of course, your brother in the lead. You seem to be holding that gap and maintaining that gap there. It wasn't tactical, was it?
I'd like to say it was. I would have found it far easier just to pull away from Alan and drive into the distance myself. But no, the reality was, I could see I had the same pace, but I think I make a few more mistakes than Alan, to be fair. And when he does have a go, you've just got to defend very heavily and try and get the exit. And luckily, I managed to have a bit of good racecraft to get the exit and hold it to the next bend and start stretching out again.
Well, lap times, you all three seem to be really, really tight. So, James, let's move to you. You seem to walk that one to the end. I mean, it wasn't that simple, was it?
No, I mean, the start, I was thinking, oh, this is not going to be good. We both got similar start. Turn 1, we went round side by side. Turn 2, we went round side by side. Turn 3, we were going side by side, and I thought, if we go through the chicane side by side, this is going to be bad. I think Alan just got a little bit sideways. I got a tap up the back from somebody, and we just managed to still slot together at the last minute. But yeah, gap pulled out, and away I went.
It was a case of maintaining the gap, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, just keeping it nice and tidy and keep looking in the mirrors.
And was it a relief to see Simon behind there, because you could sort of trust that he was going to do a job for you, or maybe do a job for you?
No, to be honest, I wasn't thinking that. No, I wanted him to if he had the pace to keep Alan behind him, then I thought good on him, really. And all I was thinking was this would be amazing if it was a 1-2.
Well, that's the story, isn't it? I mean, we say maintaining the gap and things like that. I mean, Simon was going hell for leather. They were all going for it, weren't they? And it wasn't a case of leaving each other for dead. Lap times are very, very similar.
Yeah, no, there's nothing in it at all again between us. It's the usual Mazda story, really. A tenth or two separating the top sort of 3-4 drivers. But we put loads of work into the cars, and it seems to be paying off.
It was a great win, well done.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to part 3 of the BRSCC Mazda MX-5s from Croft. James Blake Baldwin and Simon Baldwin on the front row, then Alan Henderson and Brian Chandler. Row 3, JJ Clements and Charlie Charman. Sam Smith and Simon Goddard on row 4, and behind them Martin Tolley with Roger Chesno. 11th on the grid is Darren Lewis. Next to him Will Picken, followed by Paul Bishop in 44 and 55 Graham Colby. Row 8, James Harris and Clive Powles. Paul Tucker and Jake Simpson lining up next, followed by Harry Dean and Simon Woods completing row 10. Row 11, Adam Craig with Kevin Brent. 12th row, Carl Andrew and Paul Yeomans, followed by Chris Hart and Michael Fisk. Then it's Andrew Caird and William Stevenson. Danny Green 29th with Bruce Carter. The grid completed by Matthew Tasker and Stephen Craggs. Lights out for race 3 of 3 here at Croft. A great start by Simon Baldwin with the black cage, who I think has got a very good run on James Blake Baldwin, and in fact leads down into Clervaux. Cracking start. Second position is car number 3, Alan Henderson, but what a great start by Simon Baldwin. Best result of the year in race 2, which he converts from that outside line, just like James Blake Baldwin did in race number 1. And he leads, but we've got Alan Henderson in second position. The championship leader is behind him, and this is going to be nip and tuck on championship points. You know, we've been saying that James Blake Baldwin, who looks to the outside line, has got one hand on the trophy, but he still needs to maintain that advantage race by race. James Blake Baldwin, of course, has as his drop scores, he's got a DNF from Silverstone and a 5th place from Cadwell Park. So needs to still maintain race finishes. We've got, of course, the Rockingham rounds coming up next, and then Donington Park for the championship finale. Double header at Rockingham, triple header at Donington Park as we go in car with Sam Smith chasing Simon Goddard. Wonderful conditions here for racing and indeed spectating at Croft Circuit. A really great place for a day out. So Alan Henderson down to 3rd, but it's Simon Baldwin still in front of James Blake Baldwin. We saw Simon picking up 2nd position in a Group B race. That was at Silverstone after his non-finish in the first race of the year. You may well remember that. Brian Chandler looks at the outside as they come out of the hairpin. It's going to be the outside line down towards Clervaux. Charlie Charman is there currently in 5th place. So Charman started 7th in race 1, finished 7th there, moved up to 6th in race 2, and now he's up to 5th place. So progress is going the right way. Contact there on the back end of Brian Chandler's car, but hats off to Alan Henderson, who comes out of it, goes wide. Up the inside goes Charlie Charman in 42. JJ Clements is following as well. Look how close they get as they come out of the chicane. Simon Goddard making progress here as well. Wonderful racing from the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. So into Tower, and they come out of Tower, head through into the Jim Clark S's. A little bit of a wide moment from Simon Goddard, gets it all back on track. Then they go through Barcroft and come down into Sunny. Sunny split into 2, Sunny in and Sunny out. Back in the day here at Croft, they went through Sunny in, which was just called Sunny then, and then carried on down what was called Railway Straight down to Clervaux. But the circuit now much more technical as Sam Smith goes off on the dirt. Roger Chesno up chasing in 105. Sam keeps the momentum going. So coming down into the complex, Chesno realises there's no line down the inside of the first part. Is he going to have a little dive here? Getting very close. You'll see the circuit buildings in the background now. That means they're coming up into the hairpin. Massive lock up there from JJ Clements. JJ on the inside of Simon Goddard hasn't got the momentum out of the hairpin, so goes back to follow Goddard across the line. Sam Smith behind him, then Roger Chesno, and that's Charlie Charman's got a problem, slowing down. Charman, the white car with the red stripes, just exiting left of shot. He's going to be out of it. That, if he can keep going, all well and good, but that looked like a major loss of speed and possibly heading for his first non-finish of the year. Now, championship-wise, not necessarily monumentally bad, because with no non-finishes thus far, that'll be a drop score for him. We're back with the leaders. Simon Baldwin from James Blake Baldwin, 1 and 2 at the moment. Well, fighting pretty hard. Look at the scrap we've got on for 3rd place between Brian Chandler and Alan Henderson. Henderson in the white car, Chandler in the purple machines. Back to Simon Goddard and Sam Smith, squabbling over 5th place at the moment. Simon Goddard, of course, has won races in Group B, and his best finish thus far in Group A is 6th position, his best overall position. Remember, the points are scored if you're in a Group B race. The points follow on from the finishing positions in Group A, starting from 100 points. So if there were 20 drivers, it would go down to 80 points. 20 drivers in Group A, so it would be 79 points for the 80 points for the winner of Group B, if you follow me, as the race leaders cross the line again. And are we going to see an incredible 6-race winning run of James Blake Baldwin come to an end? At the moment he's in second position. Simon Baldwin still out front. James Blake Baldwin was victorious right the way through the races at Alton Park, also at Brands Hatch, and thus far here at Croft as well. You've still got Brian Chandler running in third place. He's got the fastest lap, a third fastest lap of the year for him if it stays there. 1:42.175, not quite on yesterday's pace, set by Alan Henderson, who's had 2 fastest laps in this meeting so far. So through they go. Still Simon Goddard in 5th place up ahead of Sam Smith. A chance maybe to look down the order. Car number 18, Clive Powles. And then 37, James Harris, non-finisher in race number 1, who came through from the very back of the grid for 15th place in race 2. That's where he starts for race 3, and he's knocking on the door of the top 10 here. That's going to be, I think, his aim, to get into the top 10. So he certainly had to work hard to do that. 68 coming under pressure is Paul Tucker, and through goes the 37 car. Down behind them in 44 it's Paul Bishop. Race leaders, I fancy now maybe being closed in by the 3rd and 4th place cars. Let's go back and have a look at the progress that James Harris is making at the moment, up ahead of Paul Tucker. So there is Paul in the 68 machine chasing hard, and no changes I don't think in the offing for the moment in that battle. So we go back to the 2 cars squabbling over 3rd and 4th place. Alan Henderson down in 4th. This is going to be not great news for James Blake Baldwin being in 2nd position in the race, but the fact that his main championship rival Alan Henderson is 2 cars and therefore 2 points behind him in the race. As we look at 285, Darren Lewis, 6 in the championship coming into the meeting, and we're being told being picked up for track limits at the moment. The race officials and marshals looking as closely as they can at all the drivers, and he's piling a bit of pressure on Martin Tolley at the moment in 23. A couple of areas of the circuit where they're going to look at track limits, but essentially on some of the outside runoffs, that's basically where they're going to be looking. Oh, very wide moment there indeed from Darren Lewis, so no doubt that will get radioed through to race control. Once he's okay, of course, the clerk of the course is of course one to use common sense approach, and if a driver's consistently using too much of the circuit, then they'll apply some sort of penalty to the proceedings. The top 4 are getting closer. There's Simon Goddard going through shot. Darren Lewis chasing hard. So car number 90 is there as well. It's Will Picken. 68, Paul Tucker still there as well. Roger Chestnut up the inside. 22 is Chris Hart, who gets a massive sideways moment on coming out the hairpin. Of course, when you're going sideways, you're not going forward, so that's not going to help his cause too much. Darren Lewis still giving chase to Martin Tolley, back with the lead quartet. We're looking at 3rd and 4th, and it's Brian Chandler still there in 3rd. Baldwin and Blake Baldwin still vying over the race lead, and Simon Baldwin still there at the moment from James Blake Baldwin, but effectively now 4 cars in the mix for the win here, and any one of these 4 drivers very well capable of taking it. Out of Tower, through the Jim Clark S's they go once again, down to Barcroft. Well, from this angle, the gap that the lead pair has over 3rd and 4th looks a little bit bigger. You can see track limits wise, they're all keeping the wheels within the white lines on the outside, and the fact that 3rd and 4th are probably dicing over 3rd place may well be helping the race leaders here. Chandler's got the fastest lap of the race, I mentioned, back on lap 4. He's 3rd of the year. And so far, it's worth pointing out that we're very nearly at half distance in the 3rd race of the weekend. We've only had 4 retirees over the races so far, which is real testament to the driving standards and the preparation in the paddock, as Blake Baldwin. James Blake Baldwin goes through. Hard on the brakes. That was a textbook move here at Croft. Very well executed indeed. And James Blake Baldwin goes back into the lead. He's looking for a 12th win of the year. Simon Baldwin wants to get away. You can see the black and white flag going out. I'm pretty sure that is to Darren Lewis in 285 as the race leaders go into Clervaux, and leading this one is James Blake Baldwin. Can he make it a hat-trick this weekend here at Croft? Blake Baldwin back in the lead. Incredible race so far. Welcome back to Croft. We're looking at car 101, Simon Woods. Chasing the 61 car of Carl Andrews down the straight. He's teeing him up with an inside look as they come down to Clervaux, past the start-finish line. I think he's going to go through. It looks like, is there room for 101 as we get near to a pump there? Yes, he goes through, so very good manoeuvre. Michael Fisk in car 8 is behind him as well. Michael starting from, let me see, 26th position on the grid, so making some very good progress after the second race of the weekend. This is now the battle for second place, so it's Brian Chandler in second, James Blake Baldwin out front, Simon Baldwin has dropped back into 4th position, and Alan Henderson trying everything that he can to nab second place. There's the race leader going through and out of shot. You can see Simon Baldwin at the moment back in 4th place. He's got Simon Goddard chasing him, so I think we're going to see a battle of the Simons maybe before too long. There's the 61 machine having a very good go again. Carl Andrew having a look at Simon Woods in 101. Clive Powell's in 18. Roger Chesno is behind as well. Almost, oh look at this, this is going to be tight as they go into the hairpin. But a great manoeuvre there by 68, Paul Tucker. Tucker goes through on the inside. He's got attention all the way around him. Certainly some moments for everybody to focus on as they come down the straight in towards Clervaux again. Got some great battling at the front, but contact there on the back of 37. Now as the 37 tries, James Harris kept his foot in. He rejoins. Number 80, number 90 car, Will Picken, rejoins as well, but right the way down the back end of the grid. Will Picken, who started in 12th place for this one, finds himself in the gravel, but will get going again, albeit way down the order. We've got 31 cars still running in this race. JJ Clements goes through shot. Martin Tolley in 23, still up ahead of 285 Darren Lewis, who we're being told he's going to pick up a penalty, so I don't know whether Martin Tolley will know that from his pit signals as the battle for second rages still. Brian Chandler up ahead of Alan Henderson. JJ Clements ahead of Martin Tolley in 8th place. Darren Lewis 9th. Darren Lewis, we've been told, has been given a drive-through penalty, which thus far he hasn't taken. Maybe he hasn't seen the flags, but if he doesn't take it, there'll be probably a time penalty, certainly a word in the clerk's office after the meeting. But back to second place, James Blake Baldwin still out front, building a lead. Brian Chandler second, Alan Henderson trying to work out what he can do. Look at the purple car, absolutely glued to the inside line. Very defensive indeed. Coming down the back straight into Tower, keeps it over towards the apex, comes out just a little bit to get as much speed as he can. Simon Goddard and Sam Smith side by side. Smith's hard on the brakes to give Goddard room on the outside, I think. They're still side by side, heading down to the Jim Clark S's. How is this going to pan out? Well, those two now, as you can see, ahead of Simon Baldwin, who is down in 6th position. Simon Goddard on the outside in red has gone through. Goddard up into 4th place. Great race from Simon Goddard. Sam Smith's a great little racer as well. 21-year-old goes through. Simon Goddard, 49 years of age, from Guildford. And again, just to make the point, this championship, it appeals to the young thrusters who want to come into sports car racing. It appeals as well to the more mature drivers. So if you're looking to a mature driver, maybe thinking about coming into motor racing, there's no better championship because there are people to race with right the way down the order. Loads of help, experience and camaraderie in the paddock. That's why these guys come back meeting after meeting with the British Racing and Sports Car Club to enjoy the action. There's the 4th placeman, Simon Goddard. 5th is Sam Smith in 31. Simon Baldwin in 6th place. We're into the closing stages of the race, and here's the race leader, James Blake Baldwin, who, having lost the lead on the start, reclaimed it with a superb move, a textbook move at the chicane, and came through, and he's pulled away from Brian Chandler, now up to 2nd from Alan Henderson. We see the Darlington Town Hall in the background for the getting on towards the last time, and out of Tower goes the race leader. Chandler and Henderson still battling hard, as you can see. Brian Chandler's still there at the moment. Chandler, if he can hang on, will take a 5th second place of the year. Henderson looking for his 11th visit to the podium, but James Blake Baldwin has shut out everybody else at Alton Park, Bennett Brands Hatch, and now at Croft, to take his 12th win of the season, a 7th win on the bounce, and he'll be looking to maintain that form at Rockingham in a couple of weeks' time before the decider at Donington Park. Again, a little bit of showboating on the last lap from the championship leader. It is so difficult to win in this championship. It's got to be even more to put together the incredible string of victories that James Blake Baldwin has had. Tail out, never mind drifting championship. This guy does it as well as racing. Down across the line, James Blake Baldwin wins all 3 here at Croft. Brian Chandler will take 2nd place. There's the flag. Chandler 2nd, Alan Henderson in 3rd, Simon Goddard an excellent 4th place ahead of Sam Smith. Then we're going to see Simon Baldwin coming into shot as well, but James Blake Baldwin will have extended the championship lead this weekend by a slender amount, but of course he had a good lead in the first place. He now has 1106 points on drop scores, Henderson on 1078, so a non-finish could still change things. But for today, here's the result of race 3. James Blake Baldwin from Brian Chandler, Chandler getting fastest lap, Alan Henderson completing the podium, and then Simon Goddard in 4th, Sam Smith 5th place from Simon Baldwin, JJ Clements in 88 takes 7th ahead of Martin Tolley. Roger Chesno is next in 9th, and Clive Powell's in 10th. Let's hear from the boys on the podium.
Well, what an incredible race. Let's go straight over to Alan. Alan, insert name there for who was blocking you this time. It was Simon in race 2, and this race, well, it was Brian.
Yeah, basically that was the top and bottom of it. But I had a better race with Brian, because I think our cars are more comparable in straight line until Simon's engine eventually went. But before, it was just like in the last race I couldn't make a move, but on Brian it was on anywhere really, so I was making life hard for him.
And I think it was lap 8 or lap 9, you seemed to take him on the hairpin there. You went past him, and on the straight he got you back.
Yeah, I think he just got on the power a tiny bit early. I was alongside, but he had the run down, and he was on the right side of the track. So
a lesser driver would have pushed him off there into the grass, but Brian, you didn't get pushed off, and you got that position back.
Yeah, no, Alan is a real clean racer. You know, whenever you race with Alan, you know it's going to be fair but tough. Yeah, that's too hot to race like that, really. I'm sweating like anything. I must smell bad.
When you looked, if you look at the back of your car, you've got no rear bumper there.
Yeah, there's a bit missing. I did feel it go on the last lap. I backed Alan up into tower a little bit because he was really strong there. So yeah, then as we was going through the fast bit out the back, it just clipped my back. You know, not maliciously. It's just a racing incident, and you know, I was in front and he wanted to get past, so it was just a bit of fun.
And you and Alan there were really chasing down Simon, weren't you? You were both kind of on his tail. He was chasing down James, and then all of a sudden he had a problem, and then you took over, and that was it.
Yeah, I wondered what was going on there. I kind of thought Simon might have been backing us up to let his brother go, and then Simon just seemed to lose a load of power at the back, and I had to go down the back of him out the back. I thought I was going to die. It was quite crazy. We had to overtake him, but he just lost all power.
So James, we're just talking about the race here, almost the same as race number 2 really for you. Once you got ahead of Simon, that was it. You just took the lead and off you went.
Yeah, no, Simon's absolutely flat out, and I was trying to keep behind him, and I just couldn't bump, and I just couldn't get close enough. But I could see that we were pulling a small gap between, I think it was Brian and Alan. And we kept sort of plugging away, and then I just started to notice he made a few mistakes, this Simon, and I just took advantage of it going up into the hairpin.
It did look for a moment, maybe 4 or 5 laps, 6 laps in, I think, just when you took over from Simon there, that all of a sudden Alan was getting very close to you, Brian. They were all kind of bunched up a little bit, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Simon made a few mistakes, I made a few mistakes, and it categorically slowed us right down again, and I could see Alan and Brian catching us, and I thought, if I don't make a move now, I'm not going to be able to.
Went a bit sideways into the out of the chicane there, going into the final hairpin as well. I thought, sideways on, is this going to be all coming over the line in a big ball of fire? But you didn't, you got there in the end.
Yeah, just foot slipped a bit.
Amazing weekend for you, 3 race wins, great for the championships, and also better that Alan didn't come second as well.
Yeah, no, can't ask for more than that really. It pulled the points ahead. Cars have been brilliant, we've had a nightmare putting them together, but Chris Dawkins at MX-5 Services has done a fantastic job again.
We shall see you at Rockingham. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for us here at Croft. What a great weekend of racing. We've had 3 wins for James Blake Baldwin, top then of the list, and looking very strong going into the penultimate round next time out at Rockingham. We hope to see you there.